tuning in to TVFrederick.com. I'm Blaine Young, your host with Adam Avery, my co-host. We're starting this. We're also going to have links where it goes to BlaineYoungTV.com, AdamAveryTV.com. All goes back to TVFrederick.com. This is our opportunity to present many different shows. Now, July 6th, a lot of people don't know this. University, majored in mass communications. I wanted to be a broadcaster. My life story is I worked at G103 in Cumberland.
G103. What was the format at G103?
Country and news talk. Same format of the stations that I work at now. Right there by Fort Hill High School. I worked there. A great story. A guy named, that's terrible, I can't think of his last name right now. Sullivan was the last name anyway. I did not want to work at the school radio station. Not that I thought it was better, but I wanted to know how a commercial enterprise worked. I wanted to know how does a radio station, how do the people that work there make money, how does it pay its bills?
As opposed to the college station, which was more public, right?
Yeah,
publicly funded.
It's a subsidized station, paid for by tax dollars and donations. Nothing wrong with that, but it wasn't there to attract listenership to go out and sell advertising. So I got an opportunity to go to G103. I was at the right place at the right time. The guy who was the morning DJ was also the program director. And this is back in the days when you weren't computerized. We have the opportunity right now of talking on TVFrederick.com. We got the internet going. We got 4 or 5 cameras. And by the way, the studio that you see is my actual full-time office here at Yellow Cab. So I was at the right place at the right time. The guy said, I need to run.
When did Sarah start driving for you?
Well, Sarah's been here for a while.
Well, she can't,
There's a
can't
whole other story.
Yeah, they can't see Sarah.
They can't see Sarah?
No, they can't see Sarah.
No, they can see Sarah.
They can see Sarah? Bring Sarah into the mix.
Let me get Sarah.
There you go.
There you go. Sarah, my cutout of Sarah Palin, which I have.
Now, can I bring in cutouts of Kai Hagan and Jane Gardner if I want?
If you
David
like.
Gregg?
If you like.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all right. Sorry for interrupting your show. Back to the G103.
But anyway, the guy had to run home because his daughter was sick. And he said, do you know how to run this board for 10 minutes? And I'm like, yeah. And this is back in the day when the commercials were on 8 tracks. And you would stick these carts, we call them carts, and you'd hit 1, 2, and 3 as the commercials played. And you had a log, and you followed the log. You pulled the commercial to the log. And that's the way radio worked before you went to this whole computerized thing.
I mean, it was true like WKRP in Cincinnati sort of stuff,
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly. So he, after I did that favor, he said, yeah, you can intern here. So I was a crazy intern that ran around in the morning and did kind of stunts in the Dunkin' Donuts and different places. You know, it was the Pat Sullivan was named the Pat and Grant Show, and I was Blaine the crazy intern, and did that. And they actually offered me a job when I graduated. But I came back to Frederick. I worked in the public school systems for 2 years, and worked at Newmarket Middle for a year, and Thurmont Middle for a year as a tech ed long-term substitute. It's a new curriculum that a guy named Paul Dunford hired me as a long-term substitute. I did my own class, did my own grading.
What did you teach? What specifically did you teach? What's tech ed?
Tech ed was, I taught them AutoCAD, marketing, video production, various things. In other words, they would teach you how to use the tools, they teach you how to build the birdhouse, and I would teach you how to sell the birdhouse.
Gotcha.
They own WFMD, WFRA. So I've been started there as a salesperson, local sales manager, up to director of sales, and then also did high school basketball for 9 years, sports programming in terms of Monday night show. It's called Inside the Lines. It broadcasted at Barley and Hops. We did Frederick's Forum on Saturday. Started a half-an-hour show, grew to 3 hours, then fell into the 9 to 11 time slot. We did a Wednesday night show, and then the Blaine Young Show came on.
So to bring it full circle now then, so you had mentioned you started out this conversation by talking about early July.
Well,
so what happens in early July?
Yeah, what happens is when and if I file for election, and I say when and if is I have the intention, but until I sign my name on a dotted line, that doesn't mean it actually happens, running for the Board of County Commissioners. There's an equal time provision in the communications. I think what 315 is that what the communication act?
I wrote a column about it. And I forgot 315 sounds right.
I think it is. So what happens is I can actually stay on the air. But if a candidate would request equal time because I have the time, then the station would have to give it to them.
They'd be obligated to give it to them.
Be obligated.
Yeah.
Now, the station doesn't have to seek the candidates out. The candidates would have to recognize the violation, seek the station out for the request. Obviously, being in Frederick, FMD, a very well-known station, would be hard for someone to say, hey, look, he just got 3 hours a day. I want 3 hours a day.
Do you think they would? Do you know any other politicians that would?
Know.
And would it be just for BOCC positions?
Yeah.
Okay.
And in the primary,
it could be in the primary or the general.
In the primary, it would only be for Republican candidates.
Okay.
And the general would be for all general candidates.
Okay.
So if there's 9 Republicans and I'm one of 9, 8 of them could request equal time.
So your critics are going to say, I feel like I'm interviewing you now. Your critics are going to say that you're just finding a way, once again, Blaine Young skirting the law, looking for a loophole, finding a way to continue broadcasting without being under the guidelines of the Fairness Doctrine. And they would be...
The critics are somewhat right. Except I'm not skirting the law. I follow the law. And there is no law that says that when I leave the air that I can't go to the internet.
The critics will say
if they don't like that,
the spirit of the law. They'll say the spirit of the law.
Okay, well, what is there a spirit running around here? Is this a haunted house? What do you mean the spirit of the law?
That's what they
The law is the law.
No, I agree.
If they don't like it, then go see Al Gore, because he invented it, right? So the liberals can go run to Al Gore and say the spirit of the law is being violated. But,
So what do you envision then? So July 6th comes, you make your formal announcement, assuming that you do.
And back up. You know what? And if they want to do this, then reach their hands in their pocket and go buy the equipment.
Sure.
Everything that you're seeing being done right now is paid by me. All this equipment we bought, okay? So, July 6th I'll come off the air, and win or lose in the primary, I'll come on, I'll come back on. Win or lose in the general, I'll come back on.
Come back on to FMD or come back on to
both.
Frederick? So you're going to do both?
Absolutely.
Okay. So irregardless, you're doing
If I lose in the primary, I'm back on the radio the next day.
Okay.
If I win or lose in the general, I'm back on the next day. But this program will be started. This is something new, and it's going to continue. And we're going to start doing a lot of programming. I'm going to bring the Blaine Young Show to the internet. Still be doing my 3-hour radio program up till July 6th. And then until then, we're going to start June 1st. We're going to launch a series of programming on TVFrederick.com. Young shows about, and then we're going to do several other shows, and you're going to host some of them.
I hope so.
Well, tell me what they're going to be about.
Well, I'm hoping they're obviously in the initial phase right now. I've put out a couple of feelers to some people in the area. What I'd like to see is, as crazy as it sounds, I don't think the area has a good agricultural, global warming, environment, organic food. I don't even know anybody would listen to that. I know it sounds crazy, but an hour a week or a half hour a week of what's going on. Trends in agriculture, trends in green technology, whether or not it's BS. So that would be one show. Another show would be some sort of, in layman's terms, legislative wrap-up for the week for what went on in the BOCC and what went on in the BOE. Right now, Blaine, if a resident, if a voter in Frederick County wants to gauge what's going on at the Board of County Commissioners, they have to sit through hours and hours, just as you do live. They have to sit and watch on Frederick TV 3-4 hours of your guys' meetings, and they may not really know what they're listening to. What they miss might be very subtle. And who has 4 hours to sit around all day and listen to it to get educated about what's going on in their government? So I'm hoping with the aid of a couple of people in the community that I consider very astute as to what's going on, that within a half an hour or an hour show, they can tell us exactly what happened that week, why it's important to the average person, why it's important to local businesses.